Hello, it's Mickey Joe. How are we all doing? I hope we're all well this evening. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday so far. It's already dark, and it's not even 7 o'clock. Like literally a few minutes before 7, it's already dark. It was dark nearly 6:30. It just goes to show you the time is changing next Sunday. Yeah, next Sunday. So after that, pretty much the evenings are gonna be dark at 4 o'clock, or even in some cases 3:30. But it's a quite difference than when we were live a few weeks ago. We were being blinded by the sun. And the Son of God is no right. Father Ted reference. How's the Son? How's the Son of God? So yeah, we have a good bit to talk about. Not overly too much, but a bit at the same time. Let me get my phone just in case I need it for anything. Let me see. I know we are. I'm a few minutes early. I don't know if that's too loud. It might not be too loud, the music, but hopefully it's not. It's probably okay. So yeah, imagine we're nearly at Halloween already. Next week is the presidential election. Next Friday, would you believe, a week? Pretty much, not even a week. It's next Friday, so we'll probably know this time next week. Because obviously it'll be Friday night when the polls close, so we won't know until I don't know, would it be Saturday or Sunday when they count the votes for the presidency, but we won't know until probably Saturday night, Sunday morning. Who has won the presidency? It's either going to be one of them, unfortunately. But that's the way it's going to be. Hello, Sean. Good evening. How are we keeping? How is things? So I'm sure we're all looking forward to the presidential election. I'm sure we're counting the hours. But yeah, so next week's this Friday coming pretty much is the presidential election. I don't see a big turnout because presidential elections are infamous not having a good turnout, but we see what happens. Of course, spoil the vote, yeah, but it's up to people, I suppose. If they want to vote, they can vote for one of the two of them. But the best option, I think, is either you sit at home and not vote, or you spoil the vote, whichever suits people, I suppose. But at the end of the day, it's up to people to decide for themselves. But that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to spoil my vote. The two of them as bad as each other. Let's put it that way. And there's not much option. You kind of just railroad it into having two candidates, at least in a general election and a local election, even a European election. You have the option between a good few candidates. Like in the last general election, cavan, was 30 candidates, so you had the infinite choice on who to vote for. Like 20 people is an awful lot of people too. Like the ballot was huge. I couldn't fucking find people I was looking to vote for. But yeah, the whole system of the presidency needs to be got rid of anyway, first of all. Speaking of the presidency, we have to talk about Catherine Connolly in a second about today's events in Limerick to do with Elon Buck, etc. We get to that in a few minutes. We get around to that in a second. But yeah, I see a good few people going to spoil their votes, because majority of people are sick and tired of the whole lot of it, and especially because the presidency does nothing pretty much. It's just basically a big job for no gain, pretty much, to anybody's abilities. Not to mention, it's just the whole system of electing the presidency. First of all, is rotten. It should be anybody should be able to put their name forward and get elected. If that makes any sense, instead of having to go through the councils and through this and through that and through the other. Because it's all kind of just railroaded into people that you have to get the permission of parties that you're running against, pretty much, to run as president, which makes sense in a democracy, doesn't it? But yeah. But we give it a few more minutes and then we get started talking about the whole shebang of other stuff too. Because there's a lot of other stuff too we have to talk about. Mainly about the presidency, of course, coming up, because you'll be sick of it. No, don't put my name down. Whatever you do, don't put me down. You can put it down some other time, but not for this. I don't want it. If everybody put my name down, I don't want it. They actually wouldn't take it, even if 100 million people put my name down. I wouldn't want it because you're pretty much there. You're pretty much in a way the government's bitch. Excuse my language, but that's pretty much what you are as president. Because pretty much the Irish Constitution pretty much states that you can't really do anything without the blessing of the government. Like even if I wanted to go, say for example, if I was president in the morning, say for example, I wanted to go to an official visit to some country, you need to get the backing of the government. So the government won't do that because you'd be too radical. And not even that, other stuff too. Like you need pretty much the government. You need the backing of the government to do anything. Oh, you need the consent of the government. That's what it says in the Constitution. That you need the consent of the government. It's not that you need the backing. It's the consent of the government to do something. Well, it pretty much does say that in the Constitution. Like they can address the Dáil. Like they can do an address to the Dáil. But the whole speech and etc. has to be approved by the government before they speak in the Dáil. And they have to ask the government. They can't just walk in and make a speech. They have to ask the government to make a speech in the Dáil. I think the last person that done that was, I think Mary Robinson done. Don't quote me. It could have been Charlton's. Yeah, it could have been, but the presidents did do it before. But they have to ask the government first, and then they have to get the speech approved by the government. So pretty much you can do fuck all, pretty much. And then in terms of laws and stuff like that, you can do stuff, of course, in terms of the law. That's the only thing you really have the power over. You can send it to the Supreme Court. But if the Supreme Court says it's legal, then you really have no other option but to sign it. And then if you don't sign it, you'll be impeached. It's never been used in Irish history. But there's an impeachment of the President of Ireland. And pretty much you would nearly get it. If you wouldn't toe in the government's line, you pretty much would be impeached straight away. Because they pretty much have the backing to pretty much, I think it's, 1/3 or something majority and of the Dáil seats. It's 1/3, I think, something like that. I never really looked at that. I never was relevant in impeaching the President of Ireland. Mainly too because it's no addition to anybody pretty much to impeach the President because they could do nothing pretty much. It's not like in the United States where they have the power. They're pretty much the executive and they have the whole say. If that makes any sense, I know it's a long rambling situation, but if that makes any sense, so what the fuck is this? Hello, Queenface. Good evening. How are we keeping? It's been a while. How are we doing? Hope we're having a good weekend so far. Next week too is a bank holiday weekend. Next Monday is a bank holiday. It's a funny timing too for the bank holiday. Where's the calendar for a second? It's the 27th of this month. The 27th of October is a bank holiday, which is a weird day. It's not like the 1st of. It's a weird time, 27th. To think that we'd be abducted by aliens. That's great too. We get the alien fell on it. They're talking about this interstellar object, 3i Atlas. That could be alien and stuff like that, UFOs. But I don't think so. I say it's just another walk from outside our what's the word they use? Galaxy, yeah, galaxy. Hello, Sean. Good evening. How are we keeping? Enjoying the cavan, and great to hear, Sean. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good Saturday and a good weekend, of course, too. But yeah, I don't know about 3i Atlas. Because there was stuff that did come in before. There was a walk in 2019 that came in from another atmosphere. Well, I don't know what the white word terminology for space is. Atmosphere, I suppose. Way beyond the planets of surrounding the Earth, etc. Another galaxy, yeah, that's the word again. All very topical talking points, but yeah, a lot of people think that's aliens because it's not acting like a comet and it's not like a star, etc. It's acting very weirdly, but it would act very weirdly when it came hundreds of billions of kilometers from interspace, I suppose, not even our universe, into space. It's a long terminology behind that. We're not getting taught that, but But I just think it's a walk. It's some kind of walk. It's the walk. Let me see. So suppose we get into what I was just about to talk about at the beginning of the stream. So Catherine Connolly was in Limerick today, I think Limerick City, and she was approached by Elon Buck. This is just after happened about maybe 2 hours ago. I was only made aware of it a few minutes ago, just before I went live that this happened. Now the video is up, like on the community post. There's a video showing what happened, etc. But pretty much Elon Buck went up to her. She was speaking in the street, like a microphone on the street. I think it was some kind of Palestine protest or something. I don't know what it was particularly that she was at. Was it the campaign or was it the protest or what was it? But Elon Buck went up to her, and I don't know really how to describe. He asked the questions, yeah, but I don't know how to describe it. It's weird how to describe, like to get the terminology how to describe, because he did ask her questions. That's what he did, but I don't know what the structure. Just kind of saying you're responsible. What's the word he used? So I'm old age now. What's the word he used? Because I'm just trying to go back to the community post just to look, because he said a particular thing that he said a few times. He didn't say like once or twice. Give me a moment, sorry. I'm old age. Where is this? I hope the music's okay. I hope it's not too loud for people. But sorry, give me a moment. Too old nowadays. That's the problem. I'm a victim because of your gender ideology. That's it. Yeah. That's what he said a few times. Yeah, that's what he like. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't particularly say, but he said that a few times. So I don't know. Was he asking a question like, "What do you think about my situation?" I couldn't really hear because there was a lot of shouting and stuff. But I heard him saying that 3 or 4 times. So I don't know, did he ask a question? And I don't know what was he kind of referencing to. Because Catherine Connolly was the less cam caller, of course. And she's a member of the Oireachtas, first of all, too. Has a say, she's a TD. But the person that he probably should be saying that to is Heather Humphreys, because Heather Humphreys was in the government and the cabinet. But Catherine Connolly's the worst person, too, folks. Because Catherine Connolly pretty much didn't answer me. She ran away at the first opportunity to run away. She didn't say to everybody, let him speak, we have a debate about it. Just kind of ran away, and then he was assaulted too. Now, I know some people would say, and I would say too, that you probably shouldn't be interrupting the person when they're speaking, in terms of, but, Oh, did he say about Heather Humphreys? I didn't hear that, but I just seen about, a person being tired. But Heather Humphreys, like, is he mad? Because Heather Humphreys was in the cabinet when he was in prison and stuff like that. She was in a government job. She had the opportunity to do something about it, to look for a pardon, etc. The other thing the president does have the power to do, but I don't know what the Constitution specifically says on it. The president has the ability to pardon people, but I think it's on the advice of the Minister for Justice that the president signs the pardon. He can pardon people. There was a person that committed the crime, was supposed to commit a crime nearly 200 years ago or something like that, back in 18 something. And the President Higgins signed a pardon. He was sentenced to death, the person, for murder. Did he say that? But like, that's mad to me, to be totally honest. That's mad, like, to say that. I don't know why he would do such a thing. Like, whatever about Catherine Connolly, if I was in Elon Buck's situation, I would be going after Heather Humphreys and Thomas again, because she's in Fine Gael. She's one of Fine Gael's in government. Of course, Catherine Connolly should be answering his questions and stuff, because she just ran away. She's not much of a president. When you see that, because you should be able to sit there and answer the question, or have a debate in the street and say to everybody else, we have a debate about it, we'll talk about it. But she didn't want to talk, but she ran away as soon as. But he kept saying, one thing I would say, he shouldn't have kept saying, I'm a victim of your gender. He's entitled to his speech, of course. What I'm trying to say, should have directly asked the questions. I think he just repeated the same thing over and over again, pretty much. He might have said a few things different. I only heard it for a few minutes just before I went live, so I looked through it again. Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are we keeping? But no, it's insane to see that if Ela Buck did say, let's all vote for Heather Humphreys, I think he's a bit wrong in that one. I need to find where I am in this one. Oh, I see now. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I wouldn't mind, but I didn't see this video. It was a repost that I seen it of somebody. That's how it came to my attention. Yeah. There's only one way to prefer Catherine Connolly becoming the TED president. Don't spoil your vote on Friday. We urge people to vote for the other candidates, Heather Humphreys. Yeah, fair enough. I don't know what that's going to achieve, because I think Heather Humphreys, if he went up to Heather Humphreys, I think Heather Humphreys would do the same, just one away too. So he probably should go after Heather, because Heather Humphreys would do the same, just one away, and not answer his question. But I don't get thank you for pointing that out, Queen Face, because I didn't see this at all. But he shouldn't have been assaulted too. He was assaulted by people, pushed and stuff like that, and people could say he was interrupting, etc. Pretty much everybody, I'm just looking through Twitter here, pretty much everybody's saying to him, are you mad? Are you mad? Because that's what I'd be saying to him, are you mad? I'm going to vote for Heather Humphreys. Whatever he wants, he can do whatever he wants to do, but I don't think Heather Humphreys would have talked to him first of all. Heather Humphreys pretty much would do the same as Catherine Connolly. I don't think she would have a debate with him or talk to him if he went up to her. Maybe she would. Maybe I'm giving her too hard of a time. But Heather Humphreys voted to remove, take for example, women from the Constitution and stuff like that. But anyway, I suppose whatever he wants to do. But a lot of people give him grievances over that, which is rightly so, because it is an insane thing to say. I thought you were joking for a second, Green Face. I didn't think he would actually come out and say something like that. The best thing would be to do is spoil your vote in that case, instead of, because I don't know. I report Jim Gavin will be never seen again. Well, his point. Yeah, maybe you're right, but I don't think Heather Humphreys be much better. I don't think any of them are much better. To be totally honest with you, I think one is as bad as the other. Let's be fair. I thought about picking my poison. When the three candidates were there, I talked about it in a video. I was thinking about maybe Catherine Connolly back at the beginning. I was like, should I pick my poison? What I mean by picking my poison is, pick you're going to be poisoned. Where you have your cyanide, you have other poison and stuff like that. So pick the poison that you want to be poisoned by, pretty much. And I was adding it up in my head. What would be the most less poisoned Drake to Drake? But obviously I was like, no. After hearing all the Gone Bean stuff I heard about Catherine Connolly, and then Heather Humphreys is acting the cod too. I'm like, fuck the whole, I'm fucking sick of it. And I suppose it's an anti-government, in my mind too. As I said in the video too, it's about the whole situation of Ireland too. I'm not happy with the whole state of the affairs of the country too. So it's pretty much a protest vote, you could say. Very big protest vote. I'm not happy with the presidency. I wanted it abolished to be done. I wanted it abolished before this election. I said about it before. There was too much money. It cost too much money to have a presidency. I said it before. And I don't think it's right the way we have it, that you have to go to the government, you have to go and get this, and you need to go and get that, Yeah, even Catherine Connolly too. The one thing I would say before, voting for Catherine Connolly, if anybody was voting for Catherine Connolly, she claims to be an independent. That's the thing I'm really annoyed about. She claims to be an independent, but has the backing, as you say, Sinn Féin, the Labour Party, the whole left parties. How are you an independent when you have the backing of parties? It'd be different if she went to all the independents and got all the backing of the independents, like independent senators and TDs, even councillors and stuff like that. But she has the backing of political parties, like so. That's the I don't deem that as an independent. That's the way I see it. That's the way out of the conflict. The fellow in the green. But it is all a mess. I'm definitely not voting for any of them. I'm going to spoil my vote. Um, but the thing I have to ask, where was the guards? I'm just watching through the video here again, like at the end when he gets like pushed and stuff like that. Was the Gardaí not at home, Australia? Because it seems to be stewards and stuff like that. There's no guards. Um, they probably should be guards like they are. You know, I'm not saying to restrain him or like that, but just to keep the peace if something did break out. Um, it's weird. Um, so I suppose we move on from that. Let me see where I'm now. So yeah, we all know about the stabbing. At a Tuesday said, "Hello, Kieran, how are you doing?" There was a tavern. There was a stabbing at a Tuesday facility in what was it? In some part of Dublin. So it's to do with unaccompanied children, pretty much unaccompanied children that have come to Ireland. Unfortunately, a young lad was killed, a young Ukrainian. He was only 3 days in the whole country. Imagine that. He was only 3 days here, and he died. Like, imagine he wasn't killed in Ukraine, but he was killed here. It's a terror. But the fellow who stabbed him was a Somalian. He's underage too. He's about 17. But I don't know why he was here. That Somalian fellow. He shouldn't have been probably in the country. Whatever, but the fellow from Ukraine, he had a right to be here, I suppose. Yeah, gouged his eyes out. Pretty violent attack. Very violent, may I say. It's extremely violent, to be honest. Like, I'm not even going through some of the other details of it. But he shouldn't have been here. That's about it. And we still don't know why was he here. Was there any risk assessment done? There's still loads of questions. Was anybody looking after these children? Because they are underage, they're not 18. So somebody should have been looking after them. Yeah. I'm just looking into now just to see if there's anything extra. No, there's not really any other news from it. Like in terms of, do we know what happened to the? I hear, like, I don't know if this is true now, but it was over food or something. Apparently, I don't know exactly what it was. I suppose we won't know for a while yet. And it's still early days. I suppose it only happened the other day. The N80s were killed. Yeah. The fellow was homeless. I don't know who he was, but I know he was homeless. So I don't know. I presume he was breaking in, and that's what happened. I presume. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that that young person that was here, he shouldn't have probably been here. Whatever about the young lad from Ukraine, understandable. There's a conflict in Ukraine. I think why he came here was trying to avoid conscription because he's 17. He would be 18 next year, and then he would have been in the Ukrainian army. Um, but who knows why that Somalian fellow? He had no grounds to be here anyway. Because last time I checked, there wasn't a conflict in Somaliland. There's in Sudan. If he was from Sudan, there's a conflict in Sudan. Um, yeah, well, Qatar and stuff like that. It's strange they don't go there, but you know we can't ask them questions. You're not allowed to ask them things in the Western world. Give me a moment, sorry, to just do something here. So you probably have seen my video from and the community post. Let me get this thing. So you probably have seen my video on the community post about the most dangerous counties in Ireland. Now, which would surprise nobody in Cavan, but Cavan is pretty much the second most dangerous county after Dublin. So imagine that Galway and Cork has double the population, triple the population, may I say, of Cavan. Cavan barely has 100,000 people. That we're more dangerous than Cork and Donegal, etc., etc. It doesn't make any logical sense, but it probably is the truth because Cavan has got a lot more dangerous, and you heard me say it about 20 times over the last few years, but it has got a lot more dangerous. But a lot of people in Cavan are not shocked by that because there is loads of crime going on. There was 22,000 crimes committed in 5 years in Cavan, just to say. Just in 5 years, 22,000 crimes. A lot of crime for only 136 Gaudi or so, 125, I think it was. Sorry. So basically, it was a lot of cases the Gaudi had to deal with because there's only a few Gaudi and they have to deal with 22,000 cases for only 100 and something Gauds. And majority of cases, people never caught them, of course. And then they were caught, the judges let them off it. Basically. But it's pretty bad, yeah. Like the statistic is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not great looking for the county. Um, Not great at luck at all. PPL Pitto. One moment, sorry. You give me 2 seconds, sorry. I'm just looking for something here. PPL. Sorry, I'm just looking to make sure I'm correct in what I'm saying. Oh yeah, well that's obvious, But yeah, I wouldn't walk O'Connor Street. Last time I was in Dublin in January, and when I was going in May, not the greatest place to be around Dublin. I wouldn't want to hang around with it, like hang around Dublin. Same with Dublin now, but I despise going to Dublin now. Like I like to go to some stuff in Dublin, like museums and stuff, and I wouldn't go to be totally honest because it's too dangerous, too fucking dangerous, and it's not worth the risk. Because if somebody attacked you and they went to court, they get off it. If they killed me, they like get off it. Judge Nolan let them off it. Speaking of Judge Nolan, he's letting off paedophiles left, right, and centre. There was a man with 35 videos, explicit videos of very young children. And you think you go to prison for a few years or give him very tough punishment. A fully suspended sentence, pretty much walk free. Like, probably Judge Nolan should be in prison. And his phone should be looked at and his computer should be looked at because there's something very wrong with Judge Nolan. Because every paedophile seems to. There's not one that's gone to prison. I don't know how long he's been a judge in Dublin, but he shouldn't be for much longer. He should be probably in prison along with them. Yeah, the best thing to do with homeless people, because you don't know what their situation could be if you ever give them money. The best thing to do is get them a coffee or get them a bit of bread or something. Because you just don't know. They could be drug addicts, they could be alcoholics. There's been cases in Cavan where people were begging and stuff like that, and people give them money and then they end up buying drugs with it. There was a case a few years ago where a person that meant it didn't mean any harm, they didn't know. They give the money, they give €20 to a person, and he went off and bought loads of drink, basically, bought drink with it, and was basically an alcoholic pretty much. But the person didn't know. Um, she didn't know that she was giving him like he was an alcoholic and stuff. So it's better not to give. It's better to give them, food or something. That makes any sense. Because that's really what they'll do. A lot of people are alcoholics that are homeless and drug addicts, etc. Can't be in prison. Yeah, well, if I went out and shot somebody in the head, I can't just say it's my first offence, let me off with it. That's not how the law should work. It's my first offence, I should get off with it. I went in and killed 2 people. I went in and killed somebody in their house. And God only knows what else I did. But, I can't just sit in the judge, say up in the judge, it's my first offence, let me off. If we do that, then the country is definitely gone to hell. Because it should go by what you've done. It doesn't matter if it's a parking fine or something that we're not going to go mad over it. But it should be, if you can, it should be. Just going back to the data on Cavan, 21 it was 21, 22, reported to 176 Gardaí. So for each Guard in Cavan had to do 125 cases. So you can see why a lot of Gardaí give up in Cavan and just fucked off. Because they were pretty much sick of the whole fucking lot of it. The Bidonians, I wouldn't really blame them. So in Roscommon was the least crime-ridden place. But still, even at Roscommon, there was 5,217 crimes committed in Roscommon, which is a lot. 5,000 for Roscommon is a lot. But obviously, if you just, like I'm saying too, if somebody just parked a car in the disabled spot, they shouldn't go to prison for that. But I didn't pay their TV license. But something like that, like having intimate images of children or hitting somebody or attacking somebody, you can't just go and finally attack somebody and say it's my first offence, let me off it after literally put them into a coma. You can't really, like the judges might like that, but I don't know. I don't think that's justice having that kind of carry on happen. So Roscommon's the safest county in Ireland, just to say. So we all moved to Roscommon. Also, our Lord Mayor was talking shit. John Paul Phelan was saying Ireland's a largely safe country. A largely safe country. I don't know which country's been living in, but he's in cuckoo land, I think. And he said he said too that people imagine a lot of crime too. Like that's the way I interpret it, and a lot of people interpret it the same. But he's pretty much saying some people imagine the crimes happening. I don't know, but anyway, I suppose he can't really say there is crime and stuff like that. I'm Fianna Fáil, I'm in government party. You can't really sit there and say that because Micheál Martin wouldn't be happy. Yeah, some people are just good natured. You get what I'm saying, and they're spending on drugs and stuff. And then they get into big cars, like take for example the one with gypsies you just said about Dale. Somebody pull up at about 11 o'clock tonight, if there was some of them around the city centre in Dublin, right, and they get into a big fancy car, and whisk off or whisk away. If that makes any sense, like pretty much, yeah, if he believes, I don't know, does he believe it? I find it hard to believe, but he's pretty much gaslighting himself. I don't know, does he? But I don't know. It's hard to know what's he taking. But I think he's just trying to keep him the good side of Fianna Fáil because he's a Fianna Fáil councillor. But he's kind of been disingenuous, particularly with them comments. Because nobody, I can't find anybody that agrees with him. Because looking at statistics and stuff, and him being a councillor that sits on the board, the policing board in County Cavan, it's not great looking that if he doesn't know the extent of the crimes. Because I know it, I see it every day, and I hear about it every day, and I have evidence of many things that's happened. So he's getting the same as me. I'm sure he's getting the same information as I'm getting. Well, he should be. If he's not, then he shouldn't be a councillor.
Uh,
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, but there's that much stuff happening in this country. I think I remember that. But yeah, Monaghan too is not doing too. Monaghan is just speaking about Monaghan. Monaghan's the sixth most dangerous county. It's a lot better than Cavan. Don't get me wrong. It's only like not as bad technically, but still it's bad nonetheless. Like the sixth county. Monaghan's a smaller place than here. Monaghan has far less people. Only about 50,000 people live in Monaghan. Cavan only has 100,000. So it is a mess. Everybody must be sick of me. Nobody's here. See. What am I doing here? Just give me a moment. I have to, I have to try and find these stuff. Just so I'm saying the most accurate information. Pedally. So support for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael is at its lowest point in a long, long time, historical low. It's pretty much over for them in a few years' time. You can see why they're bringing in people, because that's who they're pretty much relying on to vote for them. Because it's not going well for Micheál Martin, it's not going well for Simon Harris. The parties are pretty much finished unless something happens. It's a mess. So pretty much, unless they import people from the third world, etc., they're not going to survive, which is what's happening, of course. But you know. Also, the Irish Limes today was talking, and the IMF has said too, that Ireland's economic growth is the highest in the world. Like it's next year's growth. Well, this year, sorry, 2025, yeah, it's 2025. It's the most growing economy in the world, pretty much. To a certain degree, in a way, it kind of is, but in a lot of ways, it isn't, because the only Joe is not better off. What they're suggesting is everybody in Ireland has a big house and doesn't have a mortgage, etc., which is all gone being shit. You ask me. But yeah, so that's what they'll say in the IMF. The IMF doesn't know much. The IMF. So something I probably should have talked about first of all, nearly too, because it is a big story and it's something that's happening right across the country too. The Dublin's Mater Hospital. We were speaking a lot about Dublin tonight. It might as well be called the Dublin Inn at this stage. The amount of times we've spoken about Dublin tonight. But the Mater Hospital in Dublin has recorded a 68% rise in knife-related injuries in terms of slashes and stabbings, etc. Over the last 5 years, the same as the other thing. So it's quite an increase. 68% is a lot, so you could nearly say 70%. And that's only in one hospital. So if we looked at all the other hospitals in Dublin too, and we added it all up, it could be 170% increase, 160, 180, who knows, percent increase. which is very fine. And then if we went down to the country, into Cavan or into Monaghan or to Westmead or Mead, and went to the hospitals there, it could be the same. A huge increase the same way too. So that's very, very worrying, because if we took in all the hospitals in the country, Cavan could be alone. It could be a 20% increase, 30%. It wouldn't be as bad as Dublin now, but 30% at least in our great stuff. But yes, that's what's been said. It's insane amount, because this, as I say, 68 is a lot for 5 years. This is only 5 years. This is not 20 years, 30 years. 5 years. It seems like a long time, but it isn't really. Also, some news from Dáil Éireann. The Dáil is not going to sit next Thursday, because they have to get up early the next morning. So they're giving themselves a day off. So that's great. Obviously, full pay and all that, of course. Of course. Also, news about the National Children's Hospital. That's been delayed for the 16th time. Another few billion is going to be spent on that, because why not? At this point, why not? I presume no notifications were out tonight too. YouTube's not happy with me. YouTube isn't happy with me at all. The new British ambassador, just to mention here as well, the new British ambassador to Ireland can speak fluent Irish, which I'm pretty jealous about. That like a British person can speak fluent Irish, and I can't speak fluent Irish. Australia, as they say too. So I'm pretty jealous about that, to be totally honest with you. But yeah, fair play to her for learning it, because I couldn't do it. But yeah. I think I would just relax for the next few minutes. We're going to be gone at 8 o'clock. Going to be gone. Yeah, going to be gone. We ended the stream at 8 o'clock or so. We're going to be gone. That sounds pretty dangerous. Pretty dangerous. Halloween now. When is Halloween? Next Friday, isn't it? No, it isn't next Friday. What am I yapping about? It's a week after that. I'm a week ahead of myself. So that's when that is. Hello, Gaza. How are you doing? How are we keeping? Hope we are well. Hope all is well down under. I come from a land down under. So hot. Was that not a good thing? You'd be crying if it was raining. But is that a good thing or bad thing? Like, it's not too hot. Hello there, Fiona. Everybody's turning up now. Hello there, Shawnee. Everybody, did you all just get notifications now? Is that what's happening to them? Everybody just got notifications. Like, we've literally chatted about everything under the sun, and then everybody just turns up. Everybody just turns up as soon as we just literally talked about everything. Well, not everything, but we talked about a good bit of stuff. And now everybody just turns up. You're the lawyer subscribe. Yeah, Sean was here first, yeah. Sean was here first. He was the first with the dogs. It's a pity that only people got notifications there. It's a pity, but what can you do, I suppose? What can you do? Oh, clicking everything. So how are we all doing anyway tonight? I know it's pretty much late now. But it's funny how everybody just came in the last, like literally, all at once. It just goes to show the notifications. YouTube is not happy. Not at all. Baby. Everybody's just waving. Everybody's just waving. Oh no, I'm just saying hello. It's Mickey Joe. Oh no, it's going into German now. Why is the chat speaking German? Oscar. Oh no, we don't want to follow the head scene. No, we're not doing that. We're not going there. That could get us cancelled. Years ago that was fine, but nowadays, 1984, we can't have that. The state forbids it. But yeah. Are we all looking forward to Halloween? Anybody doing anything interesting Halloween? Any fun happening Halloween? Oh, your budgie died. Oh, that's. I'm sorry to hear that. Halloween. Well, what do you mean it's an American thing? Halloween was pretty much established in Ireland, in Donegal. It's an old Celtic tradition kind of thing. So what do you mean it's an American thing? Like, I wouldn't call to people's houses looking for candy in America. That's what they would call it, but we call it sweets and stuff. Because you could get shot. No, but not really Halloween to go mad. And like over here, they go with the bang, 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 bang all night. Bang, bangs. Bang, bang. Video deed costume. Yeah, with the gun and stuff, yeah. That could be dangerous. It could be a violation of the hate speech laws. Speaking of hate speech, is not looking busting for the hate speech laws. It's never going to be coming in. So that's all the better. But yeah, Willie O'D might take offense to that. Willie O'D was supposed to phone Maria Stevenson, but then he didn't. The best. But yeah, there's probably not going to be that many trick or treaters. I still have to do up the bags and stuff for the trick or treaters coming. Like I have sweets and stuff for them there, but I get a few more, but just in case. It's always the thing here having to, you're afraid of people coming. Like more people, not afraid of people coming, but afraid of too many coming. You're always afraid that you don't have enough sweets and stuff. So I kind of overdo it a bit in terms of buying sweets and stuff. Because the last few years has been desperate. There's only been about maybe, you'd be lucky to have 30. 1 year was insane. 1 year was absolutely mad. Like it was literally mad. When I was in the old house and stuff like that. I think there could have been 60. Like a lot of them came out from Cavan Town that year. But it was insane. Like Willie O'Deed has been a long time. Just speaking about Willie O'Deed, Willie O'Deed's been a long, long time in Dáil. Like an insane long time. Like it's absolutely mad how long he's been there. Like, how long Willie O'Deed been in? Um, like he's been there since God was a Gossan. If you know, if you know that saying. Um, he's 72, I know. Uh, like he's been there a long time. Surely he will retire in this year. How did he? No. Um, how long he been Shakti Dala? How long was he? It doesn't really give me an answer. So 1982. 1982. He's literally been there since 1982. Like, that's insane. Yeah, February 1982. Think about that, 1982. Like, good God, that's half his life because he was born in 1952, wasn't it? My blind or stupid? Yeah, 1952. So pretty much, he's been nearly there all his life. He's quite literally been there all his life. Like that's mad. He's quite literally been there for 40 years or something like that. It's more than 40 years. I don't even know how long that is. Willie O'Deed, I'm hardly talking about the bishop. Willie O'Deed, like he's been there since 1982. That must be 40 years ago, wouldn't it? It'd be 40, nearly 50 years. Like surely he'd be retiring in the next election, surely. Yeah, that was the things, like, the way in Google it says, when you put in somebody's name and stuff like that, that could comes up too. The good few things come up, like when you put in Willie O'Deed and stuff. Is he married? That's what people are. Like some people have typed that in before, not me, but people. Sean's just like exactly, but what exactly? Who? What exactly? Sorry, give me a moment. Just have to do something. It's hard to it's how to do everything. There's an email or something to look at. I got a notification there. I'll just look and see what it is, just to make sure it's not too important. See, that's the worst thing about streaming. Everything happens when you're streaming, and then when you're sitting, you're doing nothing. Nothing happens. Um, it's always the way. Like when I was at work this week, I think it was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday. I got two phone calls. First of all, from the bank. The bank was doing some new change or something to some app, to the banking app, etc. And then Oxygen rang me, the bin crowd, to tell me about something. Like pretty much they were changing this, so they were doing this, and pretty much I was just like, yeah. But pretty much I was at work and I was doing stuff and I was doing my work and stuff like that. And then I came home that evening, and then not even one person rang or doing anything, and just total silence. Of course, we all want it back. We need it for the person of Ireland too. There, I said it. That's who we need as person of Ireland. We get rid of Hedda Humphreys and Catherine Conley. They can go over to Finland and stay with Wika Polka. Can stay with her, and they can stay with her sitters. We want Sanna Mowan. That's who we want. She's the only woman that can do anything. Mine good. No direct app. Well, the airport's a bitch of a thing in Dublin. Imagine there's no Lewis or anything going out to it. So you're kind of just fucked. Like everybody's just kind of fucked. Like imagine literally in every other country in Europe they have a train going to the airport. In this country we have to be different, but so it is just kind of fucked. Like when I have to go to the airport and stuff, like thankfully I got a lift up the last 2 times and stuff, but I got the bus back the 2 times too. But it's just a nuisance. It's just not well designed at all. It is not well designed at all. A backwards looking idea or sovereignty. Uh, um, oh yeah, Donald Trump and Putin are meeting. I think this Friday, is it? This Friday coming. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't know would anything change, unfortunately. I don't think there'll be peace in Ukraine for a long, long time, unfortunately. The meeting in Hungary, of all places, I didn't think it would be Hungary, but the meeting in Hungary, which is something. Didn't think it'd be Hungary. I thought it'd be Moscow, but there you go. I don't think anything's going to come out of it, but unfortunately, so maybe it will. Hopefully, it will, but I don't foresee it, unfortunately. Hopefully, there will be something, but who knows? Sorry, 1 second. Just to do something. What is this? Many are in addition to start as yellow warning for rain warning, sorry, for loud thundery downpours, etc., for Saturday, Sunday, tomorrow. Oh, well, all the Sinn Féin councils are a disgrace. It's not just one that's a disgrace. But who exactly, which Sinn Féin council? Because there's that many of them that are a disgrace. Yes, oh yeah, that came and went. You know, the only start now. They only kind of have approved the plans. It took them so long to approve the plans. They haven't even started to build the thing yet. Just to say, so it could be another 50 years before anything's ever done like that. Because they literally only after approving the plans, like quite literally just approve the plans, and they're not even starting the 2027. So they haven't even started digging anything yet. So and it already costs billions of euro just to do that. So, you know, I don't have much hope, and in my lifetime, ever seen it, unfortunately, because nothing can be done in this country at all. Just to say, you can see the National Children's Hospital; it's just a farce. Same as fucking they can't even build bicycle sheds without costing the earth. You know. Pelgale. Belli Ivito. So we will be live Wednesday, just to say. We probably will be live maybe Friday night too, next Friday. And we'll definitely be live next Saturday too. So we'll be live a good few nights. Because obviously with the presidential election coming up, you'll be sick of me for a few days. At this stage, I kind of just want the presidential election just to be over and done with. Because it's all just a farce and it's just fucking frustrating, to be totally honest. Which, I'm not familiar with all the Sinn Féin councils, particularly in Meath. I think you said Meath, yeah. Catherine Conley. Catherine Conley is from Galway. That's what he's talking about. Catherine Conley's from Galway. So pretty much, I think he's referring to in that. The same would say Monaghan too, because everybody in Monaghan's going to vote for head office, because they're from there, pretty much. So that's what he's talking about. Oh, don't trust Ganny. Sorry, I thought you said Galway. Sorry, I misread that. See, that's the dyslexia. Um, uh, I'm an idiot. Sorry, excuse me, Greenface. I misread that. Sorry. Yeah, that must be her. I've seen the name before, but I don't know much about him between that. Because I do really listen to Sinn Féin councils and stuff. They're no addition. They're no good to anybody. I tell you, my dyslexia's got worse the last few years. It's definitely got worse. Like I don't know, can it get worse? But it's definitely just fucking gone off the rails the last few years. Like the last year or two has just been fucking atrocious with my dyslexia. Like it used to never be as bad as it was now. But it is atrocious. Let me see. Yeah, Helen McAtee and stuff. Yeah, actually, there's a funny story. Do you want to hear the funny story? So I had a person yesterday, and I prove what I'm saying now in a second, because you actually probably think I'm joking with you, but I actually had a person say yesterday that this picture behind me was Helen McAtee. Now I don't know what the certain Finnish woman be very happy with that statement. If I ever do meet her, I tell her that you look like Helen McAtee. I don't know what I think she'd be very offended over that statement. Like saying that, I get it for you now, so you don't think I'm lying. Like somebody actually thought it was Helen McAtee. I actually had a picture of Helen McAtee. Like I would be deranged to have something like that on my wall. Like have Helen McAtee's picture on my wall. Like I would actually need help. If I had somebody like Helen McAtee up on my wall, like or 19 genders Dorothy. You know, 9 genders Dorothy. Well, she believes in everything. Boskap, Heligale. Mein Gott. Where is this now? I have to find it now. Give me a moment. One moment, please. Yeah, here we are. I don't want to out this person. I think Helen McAtee, yeah. Oh no, we went out to. Is this working? Yeah, this is working. Hopefully, I'm not just make sure I'm not showing anything that I shouldn't be showing. Hopefully, the person doesn't mind. Like he is a subscriber and stuff, but I actually think he was being serious. Like I don't think he ever actually noticed until yesterday. Instead of portrait of Helen McAtee, imagine that would be nightmare for you. I know it's the problem. I honestly think he thought it was. I honestly think he thought it was Helen McAtee. Like I honestly think he did. Like some people don't notice. Like some people just don't notice it behind me. Don't know how, but some people do. It just blends into the background. Just when I'm here. No, there was something. There was some other comment I was going to show you, but I don't know where it's gone. On the wall with holly cones. Oh no. So yeah, so I think people thought I was joking, no, but I actually think he was being serious. Um, I think he actually genuinely thought that was Helen McAtee. Um, the wall, which is something I don't think anybody has ever said in their life. I think there should be in the Geneva Convention for torture if you put a picture of Helen McAtee on your wall. I think that should be desecrated as hate speech too. If you put Helen McAtee on the wall. Um, of course. There's not even a question. What has Holly Collins ever done? Oh, look at that. 10,000 euro in my bank account. Very good. That's a reference to something like that. It's funny when I talk with a certain Finnish woman and one of your peers, it's all just a coincidence, as this. It's all the imagination. But anyway, I think we'll leave it there for tonight. I appreciate everybody being here. I know notifications just went out maybe 20 minutes ago. We were live for nearly an hour at that stage. But what can you do? So hopefully we'll be back definitely Wednesday. We'll talk more about the election coming up, presidential election, etc. But anyway, let me know what you, let me know what you think. It's like a video, sorry. So we leave it there for tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that has pictures of. But anyway, night, everybody. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll chat to you soon. Thank you.